Because the units totally have not changed. 1/3 of the unit, with the RR being there, 1/3 is changed every year. So there is continuity in intelligence, continuity in local knowledge, and continuity in operations. I think that is the most successful thing, and it must be continued.
General Maan, a new trend has been noticed. A lot of villagers have tried to, at least in 2 incidents, they have tried to prevent the security forces, especially the army, from carrying out encounters with the militants. What do you make out of this trend?
I think it starts with, we are also partly doing, but they have beaten us to it. They are using the media as a force multiplier and human rights as a weapon. And the moment of, that is making the terms of engagement for the ground troops extremely difficult. Before a captain saab or leading platoon, a company commander goes out, he is told by the people, the saab, if you come through this village, आप उधर आओगे, जैसे रात को गए थे, तो हम मीडिया को बता देंगे, हम human rights को बता देंगे. This fellow now doesn't know what to do. He will probably, and that is the most dangerous thing for.
But General Maan, are you suggesting a complete free hand to the security forces?
No, certainly not. The misdemeanors must not be condoned. And we as an army are professional army, and we are not new to this game. We are a very seasoned army. We have been in this game from Mizoram onwards, Nagaland onwards. Misdemeanors should not be condoned. Yet, don't make the terms of engagement of the ground troops so extremely difficult that we go backward into the shell and let's not move. So as the trend is, don't do this, but I want results.
But I thought the media is only pointing out these misdemeanors, no?
No, but sometimes you find they get exaggerated. There were cases years ago when a platoon or a troops went to some village. I remember having informed the corps headquarters that this village will agitate against the so-called misdemeanor by troops. There will be rape, there will be reports against the army, and these 2 villages and the same very houses. We named the houses and the same people, in fact.
General Panag, is this trend something which is new, that the security forces are being prevented by the villagers, the crowds, to carry out their task at hand, or is this something which is
it has always been there. Especially, it is more so when the militant who is holed up in the house of the village is a local and known to the people. They don't want their own kith and kin.
So in some ways this indicates the resurgence of homegrown militants.
Yes, yes.
And sympathizers.
And second thing is that even wherever you go, in Nagaland also, the sympathies of the locals were with the militants. In Punjab, when the terrorism was there, initially the local sympathy was with the terrorists, till the terrorists proved themselves to be dacoits and miscreants, then the locals started telling on them. So that will always be there.
Right. Brigadier Sharma, since you had a number of stints in J&K.
I totally agree with them.
Was this happening even in your time?
It has happened with me. Twice it has happened with me. Once near Handwara, I was as deputy commander and I had gone there. They brought out number of ladies in front, and they started throwing sigidis which they keep inside those kangadis, at us, and I had to withdraw. I said, if I go berserk or if I do anything, even if I raise a hand, I would be involved for a rape charge. I withdrew, came back. I got good from my GOC, but he later on stood by me. I said, this happened. He said, you should have done that. I said, you should have held my hand, and if I had a confidence that you would have held my hand, and I would have.
This must not put you, it shove you back into the fortress. It did. And if it happens, you can't have a no-go area in your own country for the security force.
So that was
if it is a no-go area, it must be happening it should be for the hostile, any militants or whatever, the insurgents, not for your own security.
But apparently he withdrew to avoid an ugly situation.
That was one, sir. That was one. I have 2 more incidents. Body snatching. You carry out a successful operation. We wait for the police to identify and write a FIR. And the locals are in tearing hurry to take the body away from you. It has happened with me in Chaudhary Gund. I'll name the area near Pulwama. Okay. It has happened with a para commando team working with me, which was operating under me. They were their body was snatched. They were bringing the body on a mule.
Okay.
And they reported to me. I said, he says, so the people have gathered in a large number. I said, look, you don't take a chance, give the body. I'll tackle the police. If the FIR has not been registered, I'll tackle the police.
Okay.
But twice it had happened. Way back in 2004, nothing new about it.
General Panag, another new tendency that has been noticed is in Sopore, for example, a woman has been arrested and she was acting as a courier. That's the allegation or the charge of the police. Is this something which has also been happening for some time?
Yes. Earlier, because of some apprehensions and lack of knowledge, they were seldom searched. The army did not carry out search. Now you got CRP has got women constable, the BSF has got women constable, so they are being searched. That's how they are being found out.
It was avoidable. Why do it after all?
One more suggestion there is for the local education. As part of Cyber, the nation and the armed forces in particular must exhibit in maximum places the repressive way in which the public protests have been put down in the Middle East, in these Arab countries, the way they've been put down in Chechnya.
But General Panag, surely we don't expect our security forces to do all that.
No, please. Idea is to educate the locals ki this is what happens there. And you would see you are being treated with kid gloves. We must provide videos of how Pakistan is tackling the insurgents in their northwest frontier province with tanks and aircraft.
And come with
And people must be educated. Look, when you are complaining of security forces, see what is happening in the rest of the world. You are being treated by the best security forces in the world.
General Panag, I am not sure I totally agree with you. But coming to another issue, the militants are also using the internet, they're using various social networking sites like the Facebook. They are no more using those satellite phones which the security forces could actually intercept. So how do you deal with this situation?
You just can't deal with it. Either you ban internet when it creates a hue and cry, so you just leave it, let them be and be smarter than them.
And otherwise, if you see, I'm talking about the insurgents, but little out of date in terms of time. Village wise and people wise, we could always find out that this insurgent, and the parents also knew, the relatives also knew, the insurgent's life was X number of months. When it was militancy was at its worst, and so was army operating at its worst. But as they go along, they start seeing goodies of life. They start seeing the stability which is in the home. Then you find homegrown insurgency would get diminished as the progress and stability comes. But one I want to say is, why there is no agitation and what we see in the valley, in Rajouri, in Tangdhar, in Punch, in Gurez, but there are armies operating day in, day out. There are civilians living day in, day out. Why is not there?
Why is it? You tell us.
I personally feel valley over the years, we have become very valley centric. Those chaps are extremely articulate. You have got to talk to a Kashmiri. He will, you name it, send a beggar to a Kashmiri's house. Beggar will come back minus his clothes, because that fellow would have taken out everything, because how bad the situation is. How buri halat hai mere Kashmiron ki. Kashmiri people की एक बाजू है वो मैंने खाना है रात को, दूसरा हिंदुस्तान के लिए है. But that's the way how articulate they are. Why is it valley and why not other places? The reason is they become a way of life.
But General Mann, it could also be the valley, because the valley has been repressed, the people of the valley have been treated badly.
No, the condition of people or Shamshabari range, Doda area, they are far more poor.
Do you agree with General Panag that our security forces are not as brutal as the security forces of other places?
No, somehow this is our Indian side. Our basic soldier, sometimes when the sweeping statement being made, I don't believe it. It is only some odd man, maybe perhaps.
But still you hear of so many incidents of brutalities. Only the other day in Sopore,
yes,
there was a custodial death, and there were huge protests after that. So
yes,
how has that happened?
Sir, that's not by the army, that's by the police.
That's police.
Yeah, but the security forces are working in tandem.
Sir, that's true. But any blame of police should not come on the army or the Rashtra Rifles or the security forces. Security forces are very vague terms.
Because there is more army.
See,
valleys they are getting the goods from government, they are getting the goods from Delhi, all this, and nothing is going to people who are far more poorer, far more wretched life they are leading. Bakarwal and Gujarwal. Go on to Draz and coming southwards right through. I am not taking Leh into consideration, nor the Jammu in consideration. It is only the Kashmir per se.
Brigadier Sharma, since there is comparative peace in the interior areas, do you think we need to pull out, thin out troops in the interior areas and post them on the borders where the infiltration is feared?
Sir, as of now, it is too early to reach a conclusion that things have improved. This is the first, like you said, sir, this is the first season which is going comparatively in a calm way as compared to earlier. We got to wait and see, you know. We got to wait for another 2 to 3 years if this sort of situation stays. Thereafter,
So do we continue like this, the way we are continuing, or do we need to take any other steps?
Like I said earlier, sir, this is the time we should go for a jugular.
Launch an all-out offensive against the militants?
No. As of now, we are carrying out hard-int-based operations, successful operations. They should continue. We can't follow a policy of a live and let live. That there will be paramilitary forces operating.
Right. General Panag, do you agree with Brigadier Sharma, or do you think that we can thin out in the interior areas and post more troops on the border, strengthen the troop deployment on the LOC?
The commanders there are competent, and they do carry out the adjustment as and when required, but there is no requirement. We can't totally denude the interior areas to boost up the border. Some presence has to be kept, otherwise the intelligence will go zero.
So do we need to make any changes in our security setup?
No, I don't think so. It is time tested and it's working very well, and nowhere else in the world has such an insurgency actively supported from across the border, with a common border for movement in and out. Nowhere has it been so well controlled with so small a loss of public life.
Right. General Man, do we continue like this? Do we need to make changes in our security setup?
No, I think the balance must be retained, and LC has to be kept as strong, because it is from there funneling out
So
shots.
do we need to beef up the security deployment on the LC?
I personally find your strength lies in strong LC. It is clashes in LC which gives you better results. It is the vacuum. He is more vulnerable, the militant, when he comes, insurgent when he comes. When he leaves the LC till he comes onto the valley, he is far more vulnerable.
Movement, as the general has brought out, between the Shamshabadi and the LC is where the militant is most vulnerable. Once he is detected, then that particular corridor should be beefed up from the reserves temporarily for 7 to 10 days to either force that group to go back or get them before they come in. And so the reserve should be moved in by helicopter. They operate there, they increase the density of that particular subsector, and once that encounter is over, then they revert back. So that is the way to boost it
So
up.
the decision to do that should be left to the local commanders.
It always
that's
is with
happening also,
local
sir.
commanders.
That's happening also. What he said is very right, sir. That's happening also. When we had a very hard information, people have been moved. The companies have been moved, and when the para commandos have been dropped in those areas, and we've been
Right.
operating
Thank
for
you
a
very
good
much,
time.
gentlemen. Since you run out of time, thank you for joining us in the discussion. The security forces, especially the army, have almost perfected the art of dealing with infiltration and militancy in J&K. However, with militants making fresh efforts to up the ante ahead of the harsh winter months, the security forces may need to perhaps rejig to some extent their security grid to deal with the challenge at hand. That is all in this episode. Do write your feedback. Next week we meet again with a new issue. Till then, good luck and goodbye.